Okay, trying this again to see how it works with a new tool. So I have switched officially to ECAM Live instead of OBS. So let me know how it's working out. One thing I'm a little nervous about is the audio might be quieter than it was with OBS. So let me know if it's okay. If it's not, I'll have to come up with some clever solution for that. Let me know if the video stream quality looks okay, and just let me know how it seems to be working in general. Definitely feels like a smoother experience than OBS. So hopefully it ends up being good. Added that cool new bumper thing at the beginning, which is pretty sweet, and that was basically only because this tool doesn't let me just use a static image there easily. So yeah. Let's get rid of a bunch of this crap. Oh, an email. If you want to look at that, go for it. Not as prepared this time. Kind of just jumping back into it. Didn't want to waste too much time. All right, so this is kind of where we were at. We kind of wanted to just drop some of this stuff in here. We got this kind of generally working. We'll do this forgot password thing maybe a little bit more towards the end. But let's do a div with a button in it with a type of submit. And it's going to say log in. And again, we've just got 252 F3F. So we just have to kind of guess here. No. Okay, so it's going to be gray 800 for the button. So we'll just do a class BG gray 800. What's the height on this button? It's a 38 pixel button, so I know just from building a gajillion things with Tailwind UI lately that that's going to be text SM, letting 5, PY2, PX. This PX thing is actually going to be kind of interesting. We'll have to think about this. It probably won't even actually matter because of how the button is designed. But we are going to do like a block width full on this. And we'll get that icon in there shortly. Let's just kind of get the bones on the page and then figure that out. Rounded MD. We're going to do text, white, font, semi-bold. Yep. That looks pretty accurate. And then probably want to do like a hover BG gray 700 sort of thing. Credit to Jack McDade for getting me sorted out with ECAM Live here. He was friendly enough to hop on a Zoom call with me and get it all working. So I'm pretty stoked that I got something going here that feels pretty rock solid compared to what I was doing before. I'm not going to update the colors in the documentation until the colors are actually in Tailwind. So you'll have to wait until we release a version of Tailwind that has updated colors, because the docs are accurate right now and we haven't finished the colors. So don't roll your eyes and just fucking relax. Okay. Let's get this lock icon. Where could that be? It's going to be down here somewhere. Oops. Here we go. Copy as SVG. And we'll just... wrong thing. Did that copy as SVG not work? Okay, so we'll just do SVG minify. What's not meant? Change language mode, SVG. Minify. Format. Okay, done. Don't need this. Don't need that. Fill. We'll just set that to current color. And we will stick this icon in here and figure out how to position it the way we want. Okay, so I would say this isn't quite what we want. Let's do, it's probably like H6W6, but we can look at the Figma file to know for sure. So we got 14 by 16. Yeah, so this is, no, it's H5W5. These are on 20 pixel artboard, I remember now. Okay, and the color is 6B7280, which It's probably like this one, maybe. No, this one. Yep. 6B7280, which gray 500. Text gray 500. See what this looks like. So I mean, it's a start. Set this to relative positioning, so that we can absolutely position the SVG. So we'll do like a span here with an SVG inside of it, with class absolute left 0, inset y 0, probably like PL6 or something like that. PL4, PL2, PL3. That looks probably pretty close to being in the right spot. All right. I did not figure out why OBS crashes, but it doesn't matter to me anymore because I'm never going to open that software on my computer ever again. Because now I pay for software that is working better. Yeah. Open source is obviously great, but sometimes when you depend on things to work, it's better for everyone if you can just use something that you pay for, because then the people who are making it actually can devote the time necessary to keep it working, whereas something like OBS is obviously tougher because it's volunteers. So all right, so let's see, what do we got for spacing here? Looks like 20 pixels, so MT5. Ugh. And then for this stuff, Steve did 14 pixels. So we'll get that going too. So class, text, SM, letting 5. If we want to get it exactly the way he has it, text center. And then from that to here, we got 20 pixels. So that's going to be an MT5 on the actual form. All right, so there's that. Now the logo, what height did Steve put on that? 36 divided by 4.9. Okay, so we can do a class equals H9 with auto, MX auto. Oh, do we not have H9? I'm guessing there's no H9. Like, seems to do nothing. So we'll have to go to the old Tailwind config and extend the spacing scale. 16 times 9 divided by 4. Wait, that's not what I want. I want 36 divided by 16. 2.25 rem. I should really make Tailwind include like a little helper or something so that we can just do like rem and then pass in like 36 pixels, you know what I mean? And just get the right thing out, because even though rem is a nicer unit in terms of just letting you scale things better, I still think in pixels myself. So so this is going to be text gray 900. Okay, and it looks like our placeholder color has changed to 6B7280. I'm guessing that's probably like this. No? 500? So if we go to the old config file, we'll just do this manually here. Also, I should probably not forget to do appearance none on these. Do we have placeholder color specified? No. Placeholder gray 500, text gray 900 probably. Yeah, okay. And this shadow is also no longer the shadow that we want to use. If we've been doing a lot of work on how we actually want things to look, using an updated version of the config. This is where we've been adding stuff that we need for Tailwind UI. So probably we want this shadow. So let's just grab that and we'll add it to our shadow config and test it out. So instead of shadow outline, we're going to want shadow outline blue. And we might need to revisit these names because still not 100% sold on it. Yeah, pointer events none is maybe smart. Yeah. So here's like a kind of a little bit gentler blue for the hover or for the focus styles, which I think is nice. I think I'm going to grab like all of these colors and update them here. Since these are the new colors Steve has been working with, and they're still a work in progress, but we want everything to kind of match that stuff. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a big deal that the icon doesn't have pointer events none. You're right. Okay, so what about focus styles on this button? So right now we got this heinous glow. I think I would probably be pretty comfortable just doing like focus BG gray 900 and focus outline none. Yeah, it's not super easy to see. We could probably do a shadow outline on it maybe. See if that's better. Or see if that's okay. Oh wait, still want outline none. Yeah, that's probably clearer. I don't know if that blue's the right color. Let me see what we were doing for this one. Let's bring this over maybe. See if this improves it at all. It might be too subtle. I'm not sure if we updated this or not. It's a little subtle. It's probably not the right one. Let's try just like eyeballing it to something. Basically, we have these two different blue outlines. One is like meant for when you're also combining it with a border. So in this case, you can use a really light blue for the outline because there's this reinforcing blue border. But in cases where you're just using it as an outline, you kind of want it to be a little bit stronger. Maybe like a 40% of the same color or something. Which I think is decent. And we might even want to introduce like a gray shadow for this sort of situation. Okay. So this looks pretty good except for the spacing between this and this. So that's 30 pixels. We're going to have to approximate that. I'm guessing something like H8 is probably, or what am I doing? MT8? Is that close? Feels like we're going to want to go with 6 or 7 maybe. Does this logo just look too small? 36 by 185. You know what it might be? It might just be that this logo is, yeah, it's got more white space built into it. So let's just export this logo. Oops. Let's set this to center, center. Let's make sure this isn't right to the edge, because that's always... And maybe it's actually okay. How do I see the pixels? There we go. Okay, we'll crop this really tight so that we can can we go? Yeah, well, I wouldn't go any more than that. We might want to 24. I think that's probably a good height because no, 24 is not going to work. So we're going to have to go probably 32. I want to pick a size that Tailwind has like a matching size. That way I can actually use Tailwind's what am I trying to say? Tailwind's height utilities. Minify. We lost the XLMLNS definition. Need to keep that. Minify. Format. This is going to have some white background built into it, but I'm not sure if that's this one or this one. I feel like we shouldn't need either of these. Let's just get rid of all this. This is probably still fine. Okay, there we go. This looks pretty close now, I think. Sometimes it's fun to just like try and overlay things roughly. So we want this to be H8 since we switched it to 32. Let's get it positioned. That's it's crazy how much different the text looks. I wonder if it's because. Why is that? Is this not centered? Okay. I mean, we'll just kind of roll with it. Feels like it's in a different spot. Like this is shorter. The T goes all the way to the U. Here the T doesn't go to the U, even though the text, even though there's more text. Is it because this isn't centered? Yeah, the logo isn't centered in Steve's design. It's optically centered though, so that might be something for us to consider too. Okay, we'll just move on though for now. So let's do this little separator thing. So after the form, we'll do like a div here, I guess. And we'll do a span in there that says don't have an account. And this will be text gray 500. I'm trying to think of the absolute best way to build this. We're going to want to give this a background color that matches the color in the background. So classic BG gray 100. Probably like inline block. Probably like PX2 or something. It's got text small. Letting 5 so that we actually have a known height that we can tweak. And I think I actually might do letting 6 for this because I need to be able to translate it by, actually since we're doing a translate, we can translate it by 50% and it'll be fine. Okay, so let's just do a Border T, border gray 300 or something. And we'll do some margin top 28. I'm not sure if we have 7 by default. Let's just start with 8 and see what we get. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to give this a display of flex. Flex, justify center. And then this doesn't actually need to be inline block. It can just be whatever. And let's do a transform negative translate y 1/2. So that pulls it up by half of the height. Now, I'm still not convinced this is totally perfect because this is going to be a pixel off because the border is not being accounted for here. Trying to think what the absolute best way to build this would be. We could do like an element inside of this that had the border. Let's try something. This is going to be kind of a lot of divs, but if we put a top border on this div, transform is in the docs, yeah. Just look under there's a whole transform section with scale, rotate, translate utilities. Okay, so let's look at this in DevTools. I'm going to talk through what I'm trying to do here. So we've got this div. I want to place this element in here absolute positioned, I think, so that it's ignoring the border. Inset 0. So we got this. No, this isn't going to work. We could do this a little bit differently. We could make the border absolute positions. Absolute inset. We might need another div. Let's just see if this is even worth it. I'm not 100% convinced it will be. Div class equals. And then we might be able to get rid of this div, but let's just see. Okay, so there's this div. There's this div inside of it, but it's not full width. So we're going to want to go width full. Okay. So we got this, this, this. So I think we can get rid of the transform on this now. But I don't know if that's going to feel any more centered than what it was before. Doesn't really seem to be an improvement. It might be more noticeable if we had like a 2-pixel border. I'm just kind of trying to understand how things are getting positioned here. So is that border centered? It doesn't look like it's actually centered. If this was like a 3 pixel border, say it was a 5 pixel border, does that feel centered? Feels pretty centered. Say we got rid of the border and we just gave this like a height of 1 and BG gray 300. So it's just like a we make it with a line, and I guess sorry, it's the height of a pixel. Is that more centered? So we've got this option. No, not that border. Border top. Brain's not functioning. Okay, so we've got that option. And I'm just going to look relative to this N and this O. I think that's kind of the easiest place to tell. Yeah, it's the same. The result is the same. So we'll just stick with the border T. And then if we did like a relative here, I think, you know, that's going to be probably about as good as we can ask for. Because you've got a... Now, interestingly, this is 21 pixels in height. That is surprising to me. Why would this be 21 pixels tall? Oh, you know why? Because I haven't updated to... I don't think I've even updated to the new version of Tailwind on this, which makes me wonder where on earth my transition utilities are coming from. Or have I? Ah, there we go. All right. Let's do this. Yarn. Yeah, I never read chat. Sorry. Yeah, you could do it with 3 divs. I think overlapping it is the nicest approach, though, personally. All right. Okay, so now do we have a 20 pixel piece of text? No, not yet. Let's kill this and rebuild. This is the root of our centering problems, probably. Or maybe not. Maybe this will make it center worse because it's a 1 pixel thing, which is an odd number. So centering 1 pixels and 21 pixels is actually probably easier than centering 1 pixel and 20 pixels. But maybe we'll just get lucky and the rounding will work in our favor, and it'll just look good. I don't know. Let's just see. Ah, it did work in our favor. So now we have 20 pixels here, and this line is probably off center still, but it looks better centered to me. I don't think the placeholder is right now, I think 16 pixels, because it has to be on mobile. If you make it 14 pixels, like here we're using 14 pixels because you can on desktop, but on mobile, if you go any smaller than 16, it triggers this weird zooming behavior. So you kind of have to go with a bigger font size. I mean, we could add padding to it, but I don't know. I think it's okay. You want to see, this is one of my favorite references for reminding myself that form fields don't have to be huge. The new stripe checkout is really nice. So they do the same kind of border overlapping thing. And if you look at this font size 16, and the field size is 44. So they've gone a little bit taller on theirs because it's a, yeah, they just have. So we could probably make the same adjustment. We're like 38 here. So let's just maybe take a look and see. So we've got, yeah, so what's the font? What's the size here? 38. Why is it 38? I would have thought with a 16 pixel font. Oh yeah, sorry, we weren't looking at the right size. So ours is 42. So we're actually only like 2 pixels shorter. So that's, to me, that's not enough to really feel like it's a problem, you know? And if we did want to make it bigger, like going to like PY3, like you probably still feels pretty good, you know, but it's kind of beefy. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. Now we decided against explicit heights. We're just using padding now. And the main reason is because of text areas. You can't really do an explicit height on a text area. And you need like the padding above the text in the place, or above the text in the text area to the border. You want that to be the same as on an input. So only reliable way that I found to do that was to actually use a real padding value for that. So back to what I used to do all along. No explicit heights, even though I see the benefits of them more these days than I did previously. All right, so to me, like, this is looking pretty decent. This is centered kind of nicely, I think. It's not perfect. I think it's actually a pixel high now, where before it was maybe like a pixel low. But I think it's okay. Just out of curiosity. Oh, you know what? We can't do letting 5 on a span. We should do that up here. Text SM. Now, it might be working because it's a flex child container or flex container. Okay, yeah, so it was working. So whatever, this is fine. If we get rid of this, what changes? Nothing actually really changes in this element. Changes some spacing a tiny bit, but yeah, we'll just have to live with that. That'll have to be good enough. So we'll go with MT6 here. And then we'll do like another button down here. So I'm just going to copy this button, and where should we put this? It's always hard to figure out the best way to build this, because like conceptually you kind of want this to be like a block that takes up like this much space. So when you're doing like margins and stuff, that's what it's relative to. And I guess it kind of is. Oh, that's because we got rid of the transform. Okay. So now it is exactly the way that I want. We're just centering the border. So yeah, this makes it more predictable for sure. So I feel pretty comfortable even like putting the button in here now. Like we'll put it in a div because buttons and links are kind of inline elements, and I kind of feel weird just putting like a loose inline element somewhere. We'll get rid of this stuff. We don't need this. We'll do, what did Steve put for this language? Purchase a license. Seems fine. Purchase a license. We're going to need to do text center on this. What have we done? We've created an issue. We do need an extra div, sadly. We could do this. Move relative to this. Okay, so that fixes the border thing. And then here we could do like an MT6 on this. We don't want a background color on this. We want a border though. Oh, we didn't do a border on the other one either. We should do that. If we want things to be the same height on as inputs, then the trick I use is to do border transparent. So now the button is the exact same height as an input would be. So, and it's also the same height as a button that does have a border, right? Because here we're going to want to do like border gray 300 or something. And what's this? This is text gray 900, it looks like. And Steve used medium weight. So I think Steve on hover just wanted to do like a darker border. So we can do like hover, border, gray, 500 or something. Maybe just 400. This ECAM Live, this is what I'm talking about, man. It just like is working flawlessly. And it was so much easier to set up. I'm pretty happy. Yeah, so that's fine. And then we could probably do like the same thing for our focus state maybe. So we'll just do like focus, border gray 400. So now we got like some decent stuff going on. Oh. I scared you? Interesting. All right, this seems fine for like a little login page here. So let's design like the mobile version. Probably like nothing really has to even change at all. Yeah. So that gets a little bit taller to accommodate the whole iPhone situation. I mean, out of curiosity, does Stripe make this button bigger too? They do. So, I mean, that's probably a good idea. If we're going to make these taller, maybe we should do the same thing for our buttons. So let's just take these styles and make these SM type of styles. Oops. So the SM, text SM, SM, letting 5. So this way our inputs and buttons will still be the same size. Yeah. And on mobile, they say you want a 44 pixel touch target as your goal. So here things get a little bit taller. Looks pretty good, right? So let's, I guess, make it actually work. So we'll grab the old CSRF, stick that in our form. And our errors we'll have to think through. We'll do this remember me thing too. All right, cool. So, I'll have to ask Steve what he wants to do for. Do you guys want to meet my daughter? Come here. Come here. Come here, Parker. No, he's not. I'm on a live stream right now. Oh. Look, you're on the internet.
She's naked.
Yeah, I know, but you can't see that. Do you want to say something? Look, this is you over there. See the mouse is on the screen?
Yeah.
That's you. Can you say hello, everybody? Say hello, everybody. No?
See mommy.
Okay.
Come here. Let's put your underwear on.
All right. So that's Parker Wathen. All right, so here we go. This seems fine. I'll have to get Steve to design the error states and stuff because we don't have that thought through. So maybe I'll just get like one more simple screen done. Something that's kind of similar to what we have here. And then I got to wrap up for the day, sadly. But yeah, we can just bang out another quick one. Maybe this one, since it's like exactly the same thing. So this is like the screen that you'll see when you, after you purchase, you get an email that gives you a link to come like create your Tailwind UI account. So it'll tell you kind of what product you bought, what thing you're creating your account for, and you can just drop your stuff in there and go. So let's take a look in the sidebar here, figure out where this even is. I think it's in like a license show. Yeah, okay. So let's just create a test license. What am I looking for? Tailwind UI. So we'll just do for no user. Let's make the license key A B C D E F G 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I don't know. Just give me an auto incrementing key. Come on. Enter, save. Okay. So if we go to licenses / ABCDEFG 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So here's our crappy version of this screen. So we'll just have this extend master again. I'm gonna have to do this version of it at some point. But for now, I'll just do nothing for that, and we'll just slap this in instead and make the necessary tweaks. So I'm just going to comment this stuff out. Keep it there for future Adam to worry about. So I think we have like the product name somewhere. What's that to see? License package name. That's what we're looking for. All right, so underneath this logo, I guess we'll put like I don't know, an H2 or something. You bought. See what we get. So what font size do we got for this? We got 30, which I think is 3XL. Text 3XL, font semi-bold, text center, probably like leading, I don't know, 8. Let's just see what that gives us. What's leading 9? Yeah, sure, leading 9. And is this, oh, it's not the right font either. I'll have to add this font. This font size 30 for what it's worth. Font size 30. Maybe we'll just do like tracking tight and just roll with this font on its own to start. We got some space here, 40 pixels, so that's like an MT10. And then create an account to access your purchase. That's going to be an MT5. Create an account to access your. That doesn't seem like the right color. Oh, it is. All right. Surprised Steve went with the darkest color here. I would have expected him to do like something like this, like a little bit lighter, especially on this screen. But this spacing does feel different. Let's inspect. Just make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's 40 pixels. Okay. Is it just like the text wraps differently? Oh, it says application UI first, so just looks a little bit different. Okay, so I guess we'll just switch this to be create account. And some stuff I have to send through here. We got to change. I'll just copy this because we're going to a different endpoint. We've got to send through the license key and stuff. We'll just move this class MT5 here. Don't need that anymore. and or connect this license to your existing account. And I guess this will have to change to or. I don't have a Mac Pro. I just have a MacBook Pro, 16-inch MacBook Pro, kind of the top spec of that. And then I bought the Pro Display XDR. So I am using the Pro Display XDR, but it's scaled down to like some stupid resolution, like 1500 instead of the 3000 wide that I normally get. Okay, so yeah, that's probably as far as I'll go today. Kind of not super exciting stuff, but the most exciting thing is that I got a good, reliable, solid streaming setup now. So I need to build out a bunch more of these screens and stuff. Maybe what I'll do on Monday is I'll stream building one of these more interesting ones. Like maybe we'll do this like account setting screen and kind of figure out this like multi-column form layout and the error states, and maybe we do some back-end stuff too. I'll show you guys how I would write the password change logic, and maybe we can even explore like getting Gumroad receipts through the API or something like that. Just have some fun with it because I got to do it anyways, so I might as well stream it. So yeah, that's all I'm going to do for now. Hopefully that was fun, and I'll catch you on another stream sometime soon. Let's see, how do I get out of ECAM Live here? Oh yeah, here we go. All right, see you everyone.